Hello everybody, welcome back. A little more than a week has passed since the announcement of the new Bear Down segment in Around the Verse, and we finally have our very first results to discuss and evaluate about this brand new process of counting down until the Evocat PTU release and in general the Alpha 3.0 update release. Our main topics for today are going to be obviously the burn down segment and its significant impact on the production schedule report, but also the mobiglas, an essential tool for our survival and success in the Star Citizen universe. So let's go ahead without wasting any more time and discuss about the burn down segment, a very important addition to the production schedule report and in general the process of getting the next very important milestone, the next very important update for Star Citizen. Burn Down is a brand new segment that was announced by Chris Roberts a couple Around the Verse ago and has as a goal to give us the backers a detailed look behind the scenes to help us understand how the developers and QA testers deal with bugs, blockers and difficulties. We could say that with the burn down segment, CAG is adding another layer of transparency to their interaction with their backers and making it easier for us to understand the whole process and understand where we are exactly in the development process and how close or how far we are from an Alpha 3.0 update release. This week's first episode was more like an introduction to the series and a look at the developers and QA testers' everyday life, and we had the opportunity to take a look at some specific bugs like geometry issues that were caused by the addition of rotating planets and sounds very interesting, memory related issues, client crashes, insurance problems, and a nice look at the Ursa rover and the problems it is facing right now regarding planetary gameplay. Overall, I think that it is a nice look behind the scenes, like I have mentioned already, and will help us understand better what the developers are dealing with and how hard it is to deal with specific bugs, specific issues. But since the burn down segment is all about blockers and bugs that delay the Alpha 3.0 update, we have some bad news to discuss about as well. Last week, when the burn down segment was introduced for the first time, in the production schedule report we had 90 hot issues that had to be repaired, that had to be fixed before the developers would even consider releasing the Evocat PTU. In the latest Around the Verse, we have learned from Eric Kieron Davis that from these 90 issues, 32 were fixed, but 20 new were added. Something that left us with 78 hot issues, a number that has changed now again in the production schedule report. What Eric Kieron Davis said, and as we all know as well, when fixing a bug another might arise, and these numbers will change dramatically, sometimes higher, sometimes lower, something that doesn't sound very reassuring, but unfortunately is the truth. So let's go ahead and take a look at the production schedule report that has a significant change this time from every other production schedule report that we had until now. For the first time since the production schedule report was introduced to us, the backers, the dates have been removed, and now the focus is on the burn down stats and numbers in order to get a more accurate look at where we are trading, at where we are regarding the production of the Alpha 3.0 update, and how far or close to an Evocat PTU at first and an official release of the Alpha 3.0 update we are. Although I will agree that removing the dates will have a positive impact and will stop all the delayed discussions that negatively impact the community and the project, it still feels like we are now navigating again in the dark without having a date, and we are just waiting to find the Alpha 3.0 ahead of us. We don't really know what lies ahead of us. The official reason for removing the dates was what I have already mentioned, that the focus on the burn down segment, on the stats and the graphs that CAG is providing us will give a more accurate look at where we are trading, at where the developers are trading and what is closer to be released or what is closer to be completed. Now let's take a look at the numbers, which are slightly different from the numbers we got in Around the Verse. According to the graphs, according to the numbers given to us from CAG, during the time between August 5th and August 11th, 45 issues were resolved, but 32 new appeared, and in total we have 83 issues remaining. I know that the numbers don't add up. I don't know if it is a mistake, a miscalculation from CAG, but this is what we have right now. 83 issues remaining to be fixed before the Evocati PTU can be released, which, to be totally honest, is not great progress from the 90 we had last week. What scares me the most is not the number of these issues, because as we all know, in a day 20 or 30 could be fixed. What scares me the most is the graph that CAG gave us and showing a steady creation of new issues, an almost steady creation of new bugs every day. There are some days that have few bugs, but in general the trend from the graph seems to be that more bugs are created overall. And this is really something not very reassuring, not very encouraging about the whole process, and when we might get not only the Alpha 3.0 update, but even the Evocati PTU. To be totally honest, there aren't still a lot of numbers, there aren't still a lot of data to provide a good look at the whole process, so we will have to wait 1 or even 2 more weeks to get a better understanding of the whole situation. Now, regarding the gameplay and the focus of the developers creating gameplay for the Alpha 3.0 update, we didn't have many new changes or additions, but we do have some additions, and the first one has to do with the surface of the planets. The developers felt they were underpopulated, the moons were underpopulated, so design is working to provide more points of interest on the planet surface, as well as aiming to try and include some additional mission types beyond the original number of proposed missions, which is actually great and will give us a lot more stuff to do once we land, once we'll perform our very first planetary landing, which I cannot really wait for, and we will be able to enjoy all the gameplay that CAG and Star Citizen is going to offer us. The other addition has to do with some basic breaching and boarding. Now, I'm not really sure if this is going to be added. It seems like it is going to be added. Basic ship security is going to be a feature in Alpha 3.0, as we know, with locks coming to ships, so it will not be easy for any thief to steal them from us. But with the locks, the ability to destroy the external ship doors will also come as well, from what I understand at least, and this will give the opportunity to players to perform some basic breaching boarding operations, destroy the door of a ship, steal it and get away. These are all the info we have from the production schedule report, and to be totally honest, there is still one date left in this report, and this is September 8th, the ending of the timeline from the previous production schedule report. I am guessing that this date is going to be adjusted accordingly in the next production schedule report, but we can always hope that nothing will change and we will get the Alpha 3.0, at least for the Evocati PTU, as soon as possible. If the numbers tell the truth, then I'm afraid we will have to wait a bit longer, and we might not even see the Evocati PTU during Gamescom. We will have to wait. I want to wait at least a couple of weeks and see more numbers and see how CAG and the developers are dealing with all the problems, are dealing with all the bugs, and then have a much better discussion, a much better understanding of how the process is going, of whether we are progressing or not. Let's go ahead now and take a very good look at the mobiglas, a crucial tool for every player to not only survive but be successful as well in the verse. The mobiglas in 3.0 is going to be a much better and improved version of what we have right now, with many more applications available to us, and we have to thank the render-to-texture system for this, since in reality the mobiglas is a holographic projection and will serve as the primary access point to all the different game mechanics and transactions, player communication, and more. Lore-wise, the mobiglas is manufactured by Microtech and will have two versions, a civilian one to wear with our normal clothes and a military one to wear with our armor. The military version is going to be more rugged and for combat use. To put it simply, the mobiglas is going to be like the smartphone of the verse, a device to help us reach others and complete our goals with its various applications and tools. Missions, customizing loadouts, watching maps, all will be possible through our mobiglas. And to achieve this, it is not going to be linked only to the player character, but the environment as well. So info about oxygen levels, our health, our injuries, atmosphere composition, mission objectives, and more details important for our survival and overall success will be accessible through this very important tool. In the future, we will also have the possibility to customize our mobiglas, spend in-game money, and customize it in any way we like in order to show off. I am not excluding limited edition mobiglas or specific mobiglas looks as a reputation reward from certain factions. We will also be able to customize the home screen of our mobiglas with many different widgets and applications in order to show the details we want and care for the most. This tool is going to be a diegetically projected UI, which means that the UI is meant to be seen by not just you as the player, but also is meant to be visible by your in-game character as well, something that makes it much more immersive to use. In order to achieve this, the developers will have the arm being visible on screen to show the visual connection between the character and the mobiglas, to show that the character is aware of the mobiglas. Now, regarding some of the applications we will get with the mobiglas in Alpha 3.0, we know about the star map, the mission manager, which is now renamed to contracts manager, and the inventory manager. The star map application was introduced for the first time during the Gamescom of 2016, but it has evolved so much since that time, and it is now not just a tool to quantum jump around. There are new effects in the star map as well, which make it a more visually impressive tool. The star map will be the same display tech being used for the radar in the future. A Google Maps, if you like, for the Star Citizen universe. If we zoom enough, we will be able to turn it into a radar and can check our surroundings and see who is around. With the Star Map application, we are also going to get the first implementation of the world display system that basically allows to preview different kinds of data from different sources, like navigational data, radar, ships, people on your radar, and celestial objects. The star map is going to be showing info about the systems and planets, allowing us to set a route and explore a lot more efficiently. And later we will also be able to zoom into a station, show area info, and even get a minimap. The Mission Manager application, which is now renamed to Contracts Manager, is a pretty self-explanatory application and will be managing all missions between mission givers in the persistent universe and eventually player-created missions. It's going to have tabs that will show available, accepted, pending, and the history of our missions. Later, a new tab is going to be added that will allow players to create our own missions and post them to the available contracts, asking other players for help or offering your own assistance for a fee. Last but definitely not least is the Inventory Manager that will introduce the ability to view all the items that the character has in possession across the Star Citizen universe and will make it easier to navigate by using filters, but also will give us the ability to transfer items from one cargo box to another or ship to ship as long as they are at the same place. These are only some of the applications that we will eventually have in our mobiglas, and I dare say that this tool is going to be the most important tool for our survival and success in the Star Citizen universe, and I really can't wait to see what more the developers can create for us. This is everything I'm going to share with you today. The mobiglas is going to be an amazing tool on our hands for when we finally have the Alpha 3.0 update, and I would really love to hear your opinion about the Bear Down segment and the latest news regarding the production of the Alpha 3.0 update. Do you think we are going to see the Evocat PTU fast? Before or during Gamescom? What do you think about these numbers and the progress CAG and the developers are making with dealing with the hot issues? I would really love to hear your opinion. To be totally honest and fair towards CAG, I think we have to wait a couple more weeks in order to evaluate this process properly and have a much better understanding of how the developers are dealing with the hot issues, with all the difficulties. Like always, I would love to hear your thoughts on this matter and of course on the mobiglas as well. Thank you very much for joining me. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. I am SquidofLove and I will see you around the verse. Bye bye.